Hello, I'm Kurt Lidke, Executive Director of Klamath Film, and you just watched 32 Goldfish in our Northern Shorts category for the Klamath Independent Film Festival. Joining us now is the director of this film, Erik Fox. Erik, thank you for taking some time to join us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you, Erik, for this film. The mood of your film is really mesmerizing, and it leaves so many open questions. To me, it has a very David Lynch vibe and quality to it, and it's kind of sci-fi and it's part drama and there's some action. And after seeing it, I'm still not quite sure what I just watched. I'm sure a lot of our audience is saying the same thing. I'll be honest. In our judging process, we had to watch it multiple times to grasp some of what was going on, and I mean that in the best way possible as a compliment. But was
Right.
that intentional with your story to kind of leave the audience guessing?
Yeah, definitely. I really prefer films that leave things open-ended or invite questions. I guess another way to put it is I really like films that are more of a space for
Mhm.
contemplation or that allow room for their audience instead of um, slamming them with plot points and getting on to the next thing and the next thing. I think the medium's really at its best when it's open ended and invites the audience into its world.
So your film has a story arc to it, but it is somewhat linear, but it doesn't feel that way. It feels like one of those films that kind of bounces around in time. I think of movies like 12 Monkeys or Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind or Donnie Darko, where Beautiful Mind, where you're not quite sure what's reality and what's in the lead character's mind as they kind of go through this experience. When you were creating this, did you shoot it or intend it to be kind of a straight storyline, or did you want it to be sort of disjointed and kind of taking people out of the norm?
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted it to be. I don't know. I went back and forth as to whether I was too ambitious with it. I think the current product I'm happy with, but I always wanted something that rhythmically felt really off. And I don't know. I likened it to like a fever dream
Hmm.
or some long form lucid dream state, and that's kind of what that idea was what informed everything. But just I don't know. I wanted to start off with something conventional, like a conventional action thriller about someone determined to do this to get that to have this exchange, and the whole thing just kind of deflates into nothing, which probably will piss a lot of people off. Um, I thought it kind of was the whole film is I thought it, I don't want to give too much away, and I think it's best if I don't say anything. So maybe close your ears. But the film I think is really born out of a lot of grief I had, both personally and just with regards to the state of the world. I think which is a very shared thing. So I thought, what's the best way to deal with this? Oh, I know, it's going to be make a weird ass film with an animatronic fox head and God knows what else, and that's as one does. So there we go.
Well,
I don't know if
filmmaking
that answered
takes
that at all, but
no, yeah,
sorry,
it does. It fits well, an abstract answer for an abstract film, right?
I guess so.
You made this film before the COVID pandemic hit, but the um, themes of it and kind of the disjointed, unnerving nature of the cinematography and the way it was shot and the story structure, it seems to oddly fit really well with 2020 in general, the way that 2020 has gone. Is that just fortuitous luck, or did you kind of come into the filmmaking process already feeling like the world is on fire and I need to make an abstract reflection of that?
Yeah, well, I don't, like I grew up in Santa Rosa, California, and during the production of the film, my childhood home went up in flames, along with half the city, and it was the most expensive natural disaster in California's history until less than a year later when Malibu was on fire. So, um, I mean, I think despair has been a theme long prior to 2020 for the past whatever quantity of
Yeah.
time you want to put in. Um, and changes depending on who you are and your perspective. But yeah, there's a lot of shit's fucked right now. Oh, can I say that? Okay.
It's cool.
A lot of things are sorry, children. A lot of things are messed up. No children should have watched this film, but um, um, yeah, no, I think it's born out of feelings I had that were from personal things, and then things like that, and then things that are just general in the world, and just a feeling of futility in the face of all of them. Um, I'm a real happy person, but yeah,
I I deeply appreciate a filmmaker that explicitly says, "Don't watch my movie."
I guess so. I mean, it's not for everyone. I'm not gonna. This isn't Parasite.
Yeah. I love the atmosphere of your film because it is so unnerving yet beautiful. The cinematography that you used and the lighting and just the overall look. It looks like it was all done with night shoots, though I don't know, maybe that was done after the fact in post. But very compelling lighting that you used, almost like a film noir vibe, but also sort of like a almost like The Matrix meets like film noirs as far as the lighting goes. And it disorienting angles and just a constant tension through utilizing subtle techniques in your film that I really appreciated. How did you
Thank you.
get that overall look and feel?
Um, well, it's a couple things. I have a little collection of Soviet lenses that I've been stealing off of eBay for a couple of years now. Um, I also one of my best friends is an amazing colorist who did everything for free, and he worked really closely with me to get the exact feel we wanted. I guess a lot of it was a student production basically, so a lot of the locations, we didn't have any stage, we didn't have a I don't know a lot of resources, but there have been a lot of places around downtown Portland that I'd been looking at for years and always thinking, can I use this? So a lot of it's found locations, and in the case of one of the sets, I had and another someone on my crew, we went at every light fixture in the location and we took out all the light bulbs, save for one or two, and we broke a few of them, and no one found out. But yeah, no, it was a lot of planning, and it was just inspired by, I guess, a lot of night walks. It was pretty much all shot on nights over the course of a couple weekends,
Okay.
and I don't know if that really quite answers it,
Yeah.
but yeah,
You have actors in this film who play dead for very long cuts in the
yeah,
film. And I don't think people realize until you've actually had to do it on camera or on stage how difficult it is to be dead. Like
yeah,
no blinking, no breathing, no muscle twitches, and it's okay to do that for a couple of seconds, but you have some really long shots of people on screen who
yeah.
are, dead. Um, how difficult was that to direct? Because I'm sure like those poor actors, like I watched that thing and they're like their eyes must just be burning right now with like
Yeah,
no like Visine drops or something to, to
yeah.
take care of with how long you kept the camera on them. That's really hard, right? So how do you direct that and get that kind of performance out of people?
Um, that part actually was pretty easy. Um,
Hmm, okay.
I kind of done it before. I just found friends who were really dedicated. There was one incident where like part of the makeup got in someone's eye, and then they couldn't do it at all, so we had to kind of redo that. And that this person in particular was latex allergic. So while all the
Oh,
others had makeup they could just peel off, this was just like little flecks. So they had to go through that like twice, and it was kind of a
Yeah.
nightmare. But
Oh man.
yeah, they're good friends, so it worked out. But
Okay. Okay. So
I hope.
as long as you're still on speaking terms after that, I
Yeah,
guess.
absolutely. No, I think I kind of told them what I wanted, and they
Mhm.
had faith, and I really can't take credit for directing that. So, but yeah, I think they did pretty good.
The film has action elements. It has some sci-fi elements thrown in a little bit,
Yeah.
but at its heart, it's more of a psychological drama, right? Like
Mhm.
as this hitman character gets consumed by this absurd world that he's in, that it has elements of those films where the audience gets taken down the rabbit hole, where you're not sure like what's reality or what's imagination as they kind of descend into madness where you know like a beautiful mind and Eraserhead and Eternal Sunshine, all those films where we're not quite sure what's real. Were those films a big inspiration for this piece,
Um,
or
I mean,
films kind of that genre?
I do love those films. I didn't see Eraserhead until after I made and finished this film. Um, and after watching that, I was like, God damn it, why didn't I see this first? Um, but no, I don't know. I definitely think like Lynch is an inspiration, but I I almost feel like what am I saying? I don't. I think I more consciously I thought it was something like Under the Skin or a lot of Chris Cunningham's music video work and Wong Kar Wai. I don't know if that comes through, but in general, a bunch of things that were very low key and also like classic noir. To me, this is a noir film above all else. This isn't action or sci-fi. I mean, it has those elements for sure, but it's to me, this is just a noir film, like or neo noir, but noir's
Mhm.
at its core.
It's a very dark film, both thematically, quite literally, it's a dark film, and metaphorically, it's a dark film. But it can't all be serious on set. So aside from breaking light bulbs and having a latex allergic actor trying to be completely still while their skin is on fire, any other fun or memorable behind the scenes moments that you can share?
Um, we now I'm trying to think. I don't know. There was one where I had the lead actor run up a ladder 5 times and never used it. Um, which was I kept insisting we were going to use it, and he nearly fell once, and we never used it. Um, there was also a lot of I don't know. Trying to think. Oh, there was one time a raccoon attacked our set, and it was just going through everything, and we had to get rid of it. And then when I was walking home, I had 3 raccoons follow me the same night. So that was the thing. I don't know. Another thing was oh gosh,
If
with
you
the
can't
with the
think of anything else, it's cool.
I just
So.
found with the car we almost ran over our AD 5 times, but she insists on sitting in front of the car as it drove off in the one shot, and I she didn't have to sit there. She didn't. No one told her to sit there. She just kind of did. So that was terrifying because nobody could see where the car was going. Who was driving the car? So
Okay.
yeah,
I'm
but
I'm utterly fascinated by your film. It definitely has that
thank you.
same Eraserhead vibe to me, where you watch it and you're not sure what you just watched. So congratulations on that.
Thank
And
you.
it leaves me wanting to know more of the backstory as far as what is the significance of the fish as reward for payment for jobs, and who is this person who became a hitman, and the motivations behind it. I know you show some aspects of it, but it's also very left open for interpretation. Um,
Mhm.
so I, my interpretation is that this person has been immersed so long in this world that they've kind of lost their own identity into the shadows. So there's this.
Yeah.
I'm curious if there's an addendum to the 32 Goldfish story. Is there a planned continued story arc to it, or does it end with four fish out of 32 being collected.
To me, it feels so definitive an ending. I keep having friends telling me this should be longer and you should do more with it, but to me, it's about a person who sets out to like achieve something for himself and cannot achieve it. Um, I the goldfish uh, thing. I had this. I remember reading about somebody's lucid dream when I was 13, and somebody talked about goldfish in a glove box, and that's how they knew they were dreaming or something. And I always that always stuck with me, and I don't know why. It makes no
Hmm.
sense, but I thought goldfish are, they're originally bred as like a sign of opulence. They're a signifier of wealth. They're these golden fish, and koi ponds, all that like is built born out of like a status of wealth, and then you can get goldfish for a couple quarters, and they if you take care of them, they can live very long, but
Hmm.
usually they die within a few months because they're bought cheaply and they're not taken care
All
of,
right.
so they're a
Or you
terrible
you
form
get
of
them by knocking
currency.
down all the clowns at the carnival.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They're it's kind of fascinating that something that is like a sign of wealth and opulence is now like but it's also kind of cruel because it's a living animal, and then there's the myth that they have a memory of like 5 seconds. Um, and I don't know, the idea of it, like they would make a terrible currency. Um, you know, like it's a terrible way of being paid, um, and very very unsustainable. Um, so I think that's more or less it. Like everything about that is why it is.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know if I need to explain more, but I feel like that kind of does it.
Thank you, Eric, for this utterly fascinating film. And in addition to being
Thank you.
available all weekend, people can catch 32 Goldfish in person at the Ross Raglan Theater here in Klamath Falls on Sunday, September 20th at 4:15 p.m. for the 8th annual Klamath Independent Film Festival. So, Eric, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Kurt.